Warning, this is where things get real. We have so many new subscribers here, so I want to give you a flashback of who your girl really is. This is 7 years ago. I am a retired cosmetologist, and now I focus more on the scientific realm of the human scalp and the gut as it pertains to the natural hair growth cycle, your skin, hair, and nails, all those things. Now, this is a client that came to get silk presses from me quite a bit, and this is her curl reversion. Over social media, they make you think that if you use a blow dryer or a flat iron, your curls are messed up. And if you were to go and look back at the last video, which is part 1 of her hair, right, you will see that her hair is actually thicker, more dense, and curlier this second time around than it was the first time. Again, video link in the description box below. But again, we're going to keep it real here because this is her coming to me after summertime. So let's break into that. When we are dealing with hair, there are 3 bonds that hold together the polypeptide chain that is your hair. And today, when we are doing a silk press, we are working with the hydrogen bond. The hydrogen bond is the bond within the hair shaft that is temporarily broken by water. When you break this bond with water, you actually take your hair back to its natural state, which is alpha keratin, right? You put the hair in beta keratin whenever you dry it and put it in its new style. However it dries. If it air dries, it's air dried. That's its new beta keratin until it is wet again. That is how it goes. I have a more detailed video in the description box below, but that's a brief synopsis of it. Now, this is what the cuticle looks like. So when we talk about porosity, baby, if you meet somebody that tells you your porosity is not important, you have met someone who knows nothing about the human hair shaft. What you're looking at right now is the hair's cuticle, right? And this little hole is a hole within the hair's cuticle, right? So this is when you have somebody who has normally natural low porosity hair, but their damage gives them high porosity hair. Not that all high porosity hair is damaged, but this is how low could go from low to high, right? In this case, we are using Kimra's leave-in conditioner. Kimra's leave-in conditioner has heat protection for up to 450 degrees. So your leave-in conditioner is your heat protection for your blow dryer. If you are a person who is dealing with any type of scalp or follicle infection, you're at the beginning, like let's say dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis, I love this product. I'll leave the link in the description box below. This is not a sponsored video. When I use it, it is purchased with my own money, but this is an amazing product. Even if you sweat a lot in your scalp and you feel like that gives you a little bit of inflammation, this is an amazing product formulated by dermatologists. Check the link in the description box below because I have a video where I go really deep into it because scalp inflammation is really important, and that is what we're talking about today. Yeah, so her hair is being blow dried right now, and as we are blow drying the hair, this is something that literally scares the living daylights out of most women who have been self-proclaimed in the team natural community, right? And this is something that I need you to understand. We fight so hard to break free of segregation and being singled out, but yet you fight even harder to be segregated and set apart. And it is your constant obsession and addiction to separation that causes you to be in a negative headspace. Because to be honest, Black women have every single product that they could possibly need right available for them, and every product that I can get from Cosmoprof, you can get from Amazon, and that is a fact. So make sure you check the link in the description box below for all of my product recommendations because they're amazing. What you're looking at right now is the inner workings of the human hair shaft. So when I say that the human hair shaft is alive, I don't mean that it's like living and breathing and stuff, and it can talk to you. What I mean by alive is that there are systems working in play at all times within the cortex of the hair shaft. That's what I mean when I say it's alive. There is melanin that lives within the cortex of the hair shaft. There are disulfide bonds, salt bonds, and hydrogen bonds that all have to be handled properly. This is why, instead of you guys paying attention to all of these YouTube hacks and all of these different things that you see online, you need to start practicing in your hair the way that a good professional cosmetologist does. We do not play in our hair. We get a mannequin that matches our hair's texture, and then we work on it. And see, this is the thing. Y'all have it way easier than I have it, because 17 years ago, when I went to cosmetology school, none of our mannequins look like this. Even our curly hair mannequins didn't look like this. They just didn't. But you have these options, and the thing is, most people want to skip over this part because you just want to hop straight into it and do your hair. But the thing is, you can get this mannequin for like $25. So spending $25 to get it right, and then buying sample sizes of the products that you guys want to try, that is more than enough. And then you don't damage your hair. If you don't like the product, you find out that you don't like the product with nothing happening to you. Now, this client that is in my chair, don't get me wrong, love her. She was one of my favorite clients, but it was really, really unfortunate because every time I would get her hair back to a good place, the summer would come around, she would do like her Team Natural stuff, or like braids and things of that nature. It would break her hair off, and we would start right back over every time. So it would be something that's really, really tiring, because throughout history we hold on and lock on and choose to pick one point of history and just stay there and decide we're not going to progress with anything else, right? So we are stuck, well, not we, because it ain't me, it's some of y'all, stuck in this place of like oiling and greasing the scalp to the point where there's anger attached to it. There's crazy debate, and women are not even willing to look at them oiling and greasing their scalp on a regular basis as the thing that is putting them in these situations. I'm not at liberty to post these pictures that I'm speaking of right now, but I have women that are sending me private messages 24/7 showing me like the type of breakage that I'm talking about in these videos, having massive CCCA and all of these different hair follicle infections. And every single time, even in the comments sometimes, every single time, like, if you, even now with you watching these videos, watching this video, and I'm saying this, you may say, oh Sam, well, I have CCCA, what suggestions do you have for me? The first question I'm going to ask you is, up into, let's say you just start seeing the bald spots from your CCCA, let's say like a year ago. Okay, what were your practices up into like a year or two before you started noticing the bald spot from CCCA? And then every single time when we unpack it, it is the same cause. So when you hear me being passionate about something, it is because I am literally watching you guys run into burning buildings. I know exactly what's going to happen to you, and no matter how much I tell you, like, don't go over there because this is going to happen, no one listens. And then everybody calls me years later like, saying you were right. And I know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers when I say this, but I have been doing this for so long that I am only making myself available to women who want to listen. I'm not proving myself to anybody. Believe whatever it is that you want to believe, because I have been doing this for so long. And the thing is, the type of breakage that you guys are getting today in 2024 is the type of breakage that you guys were getting in this video, and this video was 7 years ago. The fact that you guys are still dealing with the same problems that I specialized in 7 years ago is absolutely insane, right? Here is one of my favorite heat protectants from Kimra. Kimra has this one, and then there's another hot spray with like a silver top. Both of them are just as good. It's not that complicated. Pick one, all right? Like, I want you guys to lose all of the complication that you have around hair products, because social media has made y'all put entirely too much care and too much importance in hair products. Like, as a professional cosmetologist, one of the least important things is hair products. Like, of course, I have my favorite tools that I like to use, my favorite products that I like to use that make my job easier. But if something happens and I'm not able to use any camera or whatever, I'm still able to get the job done, because it's about my technique. These are the things that I want you to understand. But I do want you to look at her ends, and when we're looking at her ends, I want my channel to be a mirror for you. So when you break out of your Team Natural brainwash, right, I don't care how long your hair is, because the thing is, whenever I make comments, there's always a woman in the comments who's like, well, I've been doing it for this long, my hair is waist length, or my hair is elbow length, or my hair is booty cheek length, or my hair go down in between my toes and the cracks. Like, that's good for you, but I did this for so long. And do y'all understand how many women would come in my office and sit in my chair with hair that like looks so thick and luscious and curly, right, while it's curly, and when they air dry, oh my god, it looks so thick, but then they stretch it out and it's like, look, seeing this to my waist. And then when I blow dry and flat iron their hair, it is completely see-through. And then there's only, even though their hair is to their waist, there's only hair to their shoulders that's even good. The rest of it is about 4-5 strands per section. So this is why for some people it may sound like I'm dismissive when they're like, oh, you don't know, because I've been doing it this long and my hair is to my waist. It means nothing. I have been doing this for 17 years. So that is why I'm having this conversation. A lot of the OGs to my channel have probably already seen this video or have already heard me say this. So I apologize if you've heard this again. I'm sorry. But as you guys saw at the beginning, we have over 2,000 new subscribers here within the last week or so. So this is why I really want you guys to know where my background comes from, because a lot of you guys have come over here from my commentary videos, haven't watched any of the other videos on my channel, and just like, oh well, but what do you do with this and how do you know this? Well, because I specialize in treating the type of hair shaft disorders that have now completely taken over. It has went from Team Natural to Team Alopecia. That's what it is. And we just keeping it 100. And so these are things that I've been warning you guys about forever. And to prove it to you, anything like your favorite Team Natural hack, type it in and then put send out behind it, and I can guarantee you there's going to be a video about it. Apple cider vinegar send out, there's a video about it. Coconut oil send out, there's a video about it. Midnight clay send out, there's a video about it. Clove, video. Rosemary, video. You name it, I've made a video about it. So you guys have to really have a real place of accountability. I'm putting all of these comments up on the screen because so many times there are people who especially the people who led the Team Natural community, or people who really dove deep into the Team Natural community as the people who were being the leaders. I'm using the quotation marks with my fingers, right? These people are still holding on, and the only way they can hold on is making the truth tellers look like liars. And this is something that I really want you to think about. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that you are not intelligent. In other videos that I made, I'm like, oh, y'all dumb. Well, I think anybody who has information in front of them and chooses to walk in anger without doing the research for themselves in the information age, when you literally have a search engine in your hand at all times, I think that is a very dumb and ignorant person when you have the world in front of you. I am not trying to create followers. I want to create a group of women and men who can think for themselves. All right. Anytime you see a video that says, oh, somebody's spreading misinformation, I take offense to that, and you should too, because to me, that's somebody saying that they don't think you have the mental capacity to know the difference between BS and something that's not BS. So I tell everybody, when I'm talking, I'm giving you the scientific words, so that way you can sit down and research it for yourself. Like the epicuticle. Look up the epicuticle and what the epicuticle is, and how certain products and certain routines damage the epicuticle, and how important the epicuticle being intact is for the hair shaft. Now, a lot of people are probably like, what the heck is she talking about? What is the epicuticle? That is what my channel is about. I'm not trying to make you believe me about nothing. I want to open your mind and make you think. So now, when you get off of this video, when this video goes off, I want the one word stuck in your head is epicuticle. What in the hell is the epicuticle? I need you to look that up for yourself. Forget about what anybody online talks about. Okay? Forget about that, because like way back, when I first started, nobody was talking about porosity. Now we're arguing about if black women have low porosity or high porosity, or we're just arguing about all of it when nobody even knew what the hell porosity was a couple of years ago. Actually, people were saying that it didn't matter, right? But now things are shifting, and I want you to pay attention to these things. I make the type of videos that I make so you guys can pay attention to patterns. Because when you pay attention to patterns, you know what things trigger either inflammation or hair loss. And then you can go back to those triggers, stop them, reverse them, and grow your hair back or thicken your hair back up. So let's jump into this, because this blew me away, right? Somebody told me that they really were told that black women don't have a sebaceous gland. Every living being, even your dog, has a sebaceous gland that creates sebum that excretes out of the hair's pore. And the more you oil and grease the scalp, the more you stop the dead skin cells from turning over. Then you have a outlandish amount of dead skin and bacteria on the scalp, which then leads to inflammation. So if you have ever had a white bump on the scalp, or you have any sore places on the scalp, you are causing the inflammation by feeding all of the yeast and bacteria that lives on the scalp. The same way you can get a black head or a white head on your face. Okay, the same way you can get one on your face, you get them on your scalp. And this is what ends up leading to all of your different forms of alopecia and dermatitis, because this is the natural skin cell turnover cycle, where every 28 days the dead skin on your scalp, it dies, it falls off, and it makes its way up. But when you see dead skin, you put oil on it. No, that's your skin cell turnover cycle that happens every 28 days, just like your menstrual cycle does. Again, don't take my word for it, my baby. Look up skin cell turnover cycle and look up how adding oils, greases, and butters to the scalp interrupt the skin's natural skin cell turnover cycle. Get into it. I do not think that you're ignorant unless you choose to be like, she don't know what she talking about, she making it up, without researching it for yourself. Absolutely, you're dumb. 1000%. And if you feel a way about it, stop being a dummy. All right. Now, this is something that I want to get into next. The curl typing chart that black women are locked and loaded into. It is what the whole Team Natural cult was built upon. But this is the original curl typing chart. And let's get into this. This is a fact. Andre Walker made this chart to sell his product line. He's Oprah Winfrey's old hairstylist. Originally, this curl typing chart was only 1A, 2A, 3A, And then they added C later. So we had 1AB, 2AB, and 3AB. And then after years of him having this curl typing chart and selling these products on the Oprah Winfrey show, and to her viewers, they were like, oh, well, we need something for black women. So then he said, okay, well, I'll add C's. So then it was 3C. And then after that, they were like, oh, that's not enough. We need more. He was like, all right, well, I'll just add 4 A, B, and C. And that is what happened. Black women were an afterthought. But you guys have made this curl typing chart your entire identity. And 4s were an afterthought. And because of that, the majority of black women who are like locked and loaded into the curl typing chart, this is their end result. Now, this is the part of this video that was one of the main reasons why I decided not to do hair anymore, because I wanted to go more down the scientific realm where I really affected change. And in this case, I was never able to do that. No matter what, I was just never able to do it, because whenever my clients saw me, it was like a repetitive cycle. So just imagine if she didn't have these holes and rips, because in this case, she didn't want to get rid of it. You know, as you saw, I mean, it wasn't even a trim. That wasn't a trim. It was mainly for her mental, just for her. She was just like, oh no, just trim the ends. I'm like, I'm honest with my clients. I'm like, girl, it's for nothing. It's like, oh, you put some layers on the top, but that was pretty much it. And the reason that this is an issue is because just because you decide you don't want to cut it doesn't mean that your ends aren't going to keep splitting. Split ends are exactly like a run in your tights. When you first leave for work, it's like just a little dot. Like it's not even noticeable. But by the time you get home, that little dot has ran all the way up to your thigh. Your ends are the same exact way. So the longer you hold on to them, the more you end up breaking off your hair. But again, I was not that type of cosmetologist. My clients were very informed, and I let them know, like, okay, it's only gonna look a certain type of way. Don't expect it to be like super duper bouncy without us getting rid of everything. And she didn't have a problem with it. And this is when you create illusions. And this is why I try to tell everybody, like, yeah, you can style stuff, you can make it look good, but creating an illusion and actually having healthy hair are two completely different things. I'm able to create illusions with layers and with my flat irons, putting my curls, making the curls go to the left or the right, making them go in certain directions that will give you the illusion of completely healthy hair free from breakage. Like it doesn't, you can't see any of the breakage that she had previously. You can't see any see-through hair or anything, because in the field of cosmetology and hairstyling, it's your job to create illusions. So her hair did come out good, and as long as we would keep up with her regimen, then she would be okay. So this is why it wasn't a big deal, because I remember her promising me that she was going to like keep up with her trims, and that's why we didn't have to get rid of it all at that time. But I would lie and say, I would be lying if I said that I remember exactly what ended up happening. So this is a whole another client, okay? This is another one of my clients. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say she's in the military, but I could be wrong. But anyway, I do know that a lot of her practices were like team natural and ponytail, because she's in the military. That's the only option that she had. But guess what? Some of y'all suckers not in the military, and all you do is wet your hair, put gel on it, and slick it back in a ponytail. And this is one of the things that I dealt with the most. And it was crazy because most of the time, and not the woman that's sitting in my chair, but most women think that they can just go ahead and wet their hair and then just walk around and nothing's gonna happen. Literally within this week alone, I've had about 4 or 5 different women send me messages with their hair like completely bald in the middle, and then they're like, oh, I just used this product one time and this happened. And then I ask them a bunch of questions, and then when we get to the bottom of it, she's been putting castor oil in her hair and greasing her scalp since 2004. And she saw the first spot in 2004. but kept using castor oil, kept using castor oil, kept using castor oil because her mama did it, her grandma did it, everybody did it, and she noticed one little dot, like a little bald spot, but all the way in '04, and didn't think nothing of it. I'm gonna keep using my castor oil, and then here we go. In 2024, the entire middle section of her hair is completely bald. In her, like, she's in her late to mid 50s. So when I'm making these videos and I'm saying everything works until it doesn't, I mean it. The last couple of videos that I made about with MIELLE Organics, and it was not all about MIELLE Organics. I did give her some of her accountability, but for the most part I put all of the accountability on y'all, because this oils and butters do not go on the scalp. And there were women that were like, oh, how is it our fault and not the product line? Because before you use a product, you should be educated about it. Like, you can't 1,000,000,000% blame it on the company. I'm not saying they did do this, but let's say there is a company that's really out there that just wants to make black girls go bald. Well, if you don't do your research on the product and you just go buy anything and put anything in your hair, is it your fault or is it the product line's fault? Because you're supposed to be the person protecting you. They don't know you. They don't love you. You're supposed to know yourself, and you're supposed to love yourself enough to really sit there and do the research. My channel is about grasping accountability, and when you have accountability, you can really look at the mistakes that you made, right? And then say, okay, I did that. In that case, I made a right turn. I knew damn well I shouldn't have been going right. Next time, I'm not even going over there. I'm going left, and actually I'm gonna put a blockade right here on this wall so I don't even think about going right. But we don't do that. We be like, it was this sign right here that said turn here. If they want us to turn over there, they shouldn't have put that sign there. They trying to get us. Like, come on. So for her, we are doing a blowout. Again, every client that I had, their hair reverted back. Blow dryers and flat irons do not give heat damage. People who do not know how to use blow dryers and flat irons give heat damage. That's why I started this video off saying, make sure if that's something that you want to do, if you want to blow dry and flat iron your hair, you need to go and practice on a mannequin. Go practice on a mannequin. I need everybody to understand how cosmetology works. When you are in cosmetology school, we are not all in there playing with each other's hair. At least at my cosmetology school, we weren't. When we were on the floor, like when you like a senior, yeah, you could do whatever you want. But when you first get on the floor, you're doing clients. Like, you really feel like a cosmetologist for real. You can get tips and everything. We're not playing in people's hair. We can't get on the floor until we pass all of our tests in clinical within the classroom on mannequins. All right. So these are things that I want y'all to think about, because I've been telling you guys to stop putting oils and butters and greases in your scalp forever. Earlier in the video, there was a comment on the screen that said that she went to cosmetology school. I think she said in the 70s, and in the 70s in cosmetology school, they were teaching them that only white people had a sebaceous gland and that it was at the back of the head and black women didn't have one. Some of these lies are generational. Some of our grandmothers don't realize that they were taught lies by their cosmetology instructors. Just like today in 2024, there are cosmetology instructors teaching their students some BS because y'all don't understand how the field of cosmetology works. The majority of the people that are cosmetology instructors, you in the state of Nevada, you only have to be a licensed cosmetologist for a year to be a instructor. So whatever these teachers believe, if there's a team natural enthusiast that decides that she wants to be an instructor, guess what? All of her students are going to be taught team natural practices. That's just what it is. When I was in cosmetology school, my instructor, one of my instructors that was teaching the heat tools module, she was an older white lady, and she pulled out ISO plus grease, that yellow grease. Let me know in the chat, in the comments, if whether or not you know what that is. She pulled out some ISO plus grease, the yellow one, put it all over her hand, and then went to put it all over the mannequin's head. And me and the other girl, black girl, Ann, was like, no, 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 stop. What are you doing? We'll do it. Never mind. Oh my God. And we taught those class. We taught thermal styling. We taught the ethnic part of class in cosmetology school. That's when I was in school. I was paying to be there, but teaching the ethnic part of the classroom. This is what I mean. It is your job to understand the science of your body. And when you understand the science of your body, you go searching for cosmetologists who also understand the science of your body, because they promote it, right? You're not going to anybody if you want somebody that focuses on the science of hair, if they have 4B, 4C in their promotion, that's not it. And I'm talking on their website. Like back in the day on YouTube, we used to have to put 4C, 4B, 4W just to get any views in the algorithm. But if that's on their website, that may not be the person that you want to go to that's focusing on the science, if they're focused on the curl typing chart, which was an afterthought. Black women were an afterthought on the curl typing chart, but have made an afterthought their entire identity. So you cannot focus on how to do your hair based on how your curls look. No, you need to learn your scalp's profile, which is something that I teach you how to do in the 7-day challenge. Now, you have so many options. If you're new to my channel, then you're like, oh my God, well, how do you do this? Like I said, any question that you have, search it and then type send out behind it, and I can almost bet money that I already made a video on that topic. So make sure that you binge watch my content for the things that you need. Most of the questions that you have, I've most likely already answered, because I've been doing this for so long. And the way I answer questions are not in a way where it's like, oh well, Sin said, so I'm gonna follow. No, Sin said, so I'm gonna look it up in a medical journal. Don't just go on Google, because when you go on Google, you get all the Team Natural blogs. No, you type in your question, and then at the end you put .edu or .gov, .edu.gov. Those are the type of things that you do, because when you type in .edu, what is going to pull up is medical journals, or you type in what you want to type in and then put .md. Because when you do that, it pops up medical journal. So it gives you the side of Google that scientists look at. Scientists are not just going on regular Google and typing anything in, because they understand that there's going to be full of blogs and Team Natural. And because right now, if you type in what's the best moisturizer, it's just going to give you a bunch of oils and creams and stuff, because that's Team Natural side of YouTube. But then if you type that in and get into the scientist side of not YouTube, Lord, the scientist side of Google, then what will end up happening is you'll end up getting sebum and different things that teach you how to strengthen your sebum production, right? So I'm only breaking this down because, like I said, we have almost 3,000. I round everything up. It's 2,300, but I'm gonna say 3,000. So we have almost 3,000 new people here in less than 2 weeks, right? I need you guys to know that I am not a rookie. Okay. And the things that I'm saying, I'm not just randomly pulling out of my butt. I've been doing this for a very long time successfully. Okay, so this client here, she does have a hair shaft disorder from, I want to say probably from mid shaft to ends. The prep that she has on her hair is her hair shaft disorder is not being any further damaged or anything by my process, because my process is made so that doesn't happen. But as we are straightening her hair, we're getting a better idea of what's going on, because she did wear her hair curly most of the time, so she didn't know that her hair looked like this. And so anytime you or anybody else gets their hair straightened and it still looks like really frizzy, really puffy like this, those are broken ends. And sometimes the ends will be, it won't just be the ends that are broken, the splits and the holes and the rips will be up the hair shaft, and this is one of those cases. So most of the time in cases like this, of course, nobody really wants to, well, a lot of people do, but most people don't want to like just get rid of all of their hair. So then you end up again having to camouflage things, right? But I want you to pay attention to the fact that everybody has the same exact breakage. Everybody's doing the same exact thing. So I get a lot of people that'll be like, oh, I went to a dermatologist and they were like rude, they didn't look at anything. Well, not rude, but they were like really quick. And it's like, y'all have to understand, like, thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of y'all went and bought all of these Team Natural products, and y'all all been going crazy with Team Natural for the same length of time. Most of y'all started y'all Team Natural journeys at the same time, which means all of y'all hair weathering is going to be popping out at the same time. So now that the hair weathering, I tell y'all all the time, it takes anywhere between 6 months and 25 years. So everybody's into their hair weathering stage, and whatever product is the most current at the point that everybody's weathering sets in, this is the product that's to blame. Right now, it's MIELLE Organics, and MIELLE Organics made themselves susceptible to this because they didn't know what they were doing scientifically. There is one thing that would have completely made sure that MIELLE Organics is not at fault for any of y'all balding. If they would have put on the directions to use it only once or a wash day right before you get ready to wash your hair, leave it on for 20 minutes and then shampoo it out with a clarifying shampoo, they would be okay. But they did the exact opposite. They told you to apply that bullshit every day. And so these are the things that I need y'all to think about, because everything can't be reversed. And this is another way that we end up camouflaging things with curls. I'm able to use a slight heat protectant / holding spray, right? That would be Kimber's hot spray. I will use that, and then we're just going to create some curls, and this will give her the illusion of her hair being like healthy and A1 until the very next time or into whatever, right? So I know that's really, really hard for a lot of people to hear, but I used to tell my clients all the time, it's better for you to just get rid of it now. You can get a weave, or we can do like a partial, so you don't have to see the hair short if it just bothers you. And by the time we take it out, the stuff that you have already grew will be back. This is something that I want y'all to pay attention to, because Beyonce is next. Yeah, every black brand is going to be blamed for black women's hair falling out. I don't care what product it is. And mark my words, Sin said it first, Beyonce is next on the chopping block, because there are comments like this all over the place. Like, oh my God, sue. That's the first thing everybody wants to do. And I wish y'all would stop, because y'all all sue relaxer companies, and the lawyers made millions, but all y'all got $20 checks. Don't you feel crazy trading on y'all people for $20? You trade on your people for $20. You the one who got the relaxer. And black people ain't even make the relaxers. It's the white man that made the box relaxers. And you done went to sue for relaxers. You done went to sue and got $20. So looking crazy as hell. 20, 25, 35, 2 for 50. So these are things that I really want us to think about. I need us to wake up from the mental brainwash, because regardless of what you see, regardless of what you hear anybody say about me, baby, I get results fast. And in the 7-day challenge, we hold each other accountable. I tell everybody, listen, if you want somebody to lie to you like they do on YouTube, don't join the 7-day challenge, because we are a unit. We are a family, and we hold each other accountable. I'm not even the only one holding people accountable. Like, everybody holds each other accountable. Oh, well, sis, you ain't supposed to do that. Oh, sis, you know you're not supposed to do that. That's how it goes in there. You have to follow directions and you must do the work. It's not a place that you just come to ask me 50 million questions. No, there is content. I have everything that you need to succeed there. And as long as you follow directions, you are good. As long as you take all of the content in, you are good. But even if you don't want to sign up for the challenge, get a notebook, some snacks, and just binge watch my content. I promise you'll have what you need, but lose your offense, because I don't know you, so I can't be personally attacking anybody that I can't see. Okay, I don't know you, but I do know that your patterns and your habits need to change. I do know that you need to lose offense and gain your accountability. I do know that you need to change the types of people that you're listening to. If somebody is making you upset at me for making you think and look in the mirror, you need to ask yourself why you're entertaining the type of people that don't want you to be better. Why are you entertaining the type of people that don't want you to gain wisdom from your experience? I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure you leave me some comments below. Give this video a thumbs up. Turn your bell notifications on. Subscribe. And bye.